Hoops Tribe, thank you so much for coming back for another episode of Let's Talk Hoops. This is episode 11, 11 episodes of straight up hoops talk about women's basketball. I'm your host, Cassie Chantel. Some of y'all call me Coach C. And in this episode, I'll answer some questions from subscribers. We'll go inside the game at Barclays for the New York Liberty versus Los Angeles Sparks matchup. Yeah. We'll also see who's been feeding the girls with the best league fits of this week. We'll get into some major headlines and what y'all been talking about across social media and some of the biggest wins of the week. We'll have some film study and I'll bring you all into my coach's corner as I talk about some coaching highlights for this week. Now, before we move any further, I want to get into some of you guys' questions. This question comes from Trish. She wants to know what adjustments do I think the Indiana Fever need to make when Clark returns back into the lineup? Honestly, they probably won't do this, but I don't think that Caitlin Clark should come back starting. I think that that's the mistake that the Atlanta Dream made, or Carl Smesco made with the Atlanta Dream by starting Jordan Canada back into that lineup immediately after her injury. I thought that the Dream had a flow, and as we can see, the Fever are into a flow. They have a chemistry without Clark right now. So I think that they should work her back into the lineup instead of just throwing her out there so she can kind of catch the vibe, even though she's been watching very closely on the bench, as we can see. I also think that the coaching staff has to make a strong emphasis on the relationship between Clark and Natasha Howard. Right now, from body language alone, I think we've all seen the clip. I don't think that Clark trusts Howard. And I think that Howard has proven herself before she even got to the Fever. Honestly, she has a stellar career as a pro. So I think that Clark has to learn to trust Howard. There needs to be some bonding between those two because she's going to be very important moving into that postseason play. So they have to build a better relationship, and Clark has to respect her just a little bit more. Another question that you have is, should Arike and Nay lose their starting spots to the Rooks? This was from Shamika. Thank you for the question. First of all, I thought that Isaiah James should be starting over Dijonai Carrington from the jump. I think that James has an offensive ceiling that is higher than what Dijonai will ever be able to reach. And that's no knock to Dijonai. I think Dijonai is a great player. Her defensive presence is one that every team wants in their rotation at some point. But I think that if Dallas has the mind of the future, which what looks like is happening. They're looking towards their future at this point. Isaiah James is their future, and they need to prioritize her in that starting lineup. I think that she also has strong defense. I think that Dejanay would be great with that defensive push off of the bench and that spark. She can create her offense from her defense. So I think the offense has looked better with James. We've seen it with her career high, with her and Paige Beckers being the only rookies, I think, in franchise history and maybe league history to score 20 plus points with maybe like whatever the other stat line was with rebounds. I can't remember the stat line off my head, but I know that they made history. And I think that that is going to be the standard for that duo. I think that James is just strong. As far as Arike is concerned, I don't think that she's a player that would fare well coming off of the bench. I think that that would be a blow to her ego. Mind you, I have said in the past that I think that they should bench her. And what I meant by that is they should bench her in moments that make sense. When she starts to go off script and when she starts to do things that is detrimental to the overall team flow, that's when she needs to be benched. So I think right now, keep her in the starting lineup, but there's going to be moments where she needs that quick substitution. And I think that that's what they should do instead of going with maybe JJ Quinterly in that starting lineup. While I think Quinterly is a part of their future, and I think that she has shown herself to be a really strong facilitator in her rookie season. So she has a high ceiling there as well. And I think that all of the rookies together just have a flow about them. And it's just that fresh, that new energy. So I think keep Arike in the starting lineup for ego, for just to keep her bought into the system, but just work her out, work that substitution in a lot quicker than what they have been in the past. And I think that in the offseason, we're going to see a blockbuster trade with Arike. So I won't be surprised to hear that news. But I think for now, keep her in the starting lineup just to keep her happy. Another question that you all have is what is happening with the Aces? Asia Wilson had 29 points against the Fever, and she came to work with her white t-shirt on, but no one else showed up to play with her. And I've done a full video specifically on what's wrong with the Aces. If I'm not mistaken, that's actually the title of that video. So I suggest everyone to go look at that because not much has changed from the time that I made that video to now. I think it's a matter of everybody on that roster is too expensive. They smelling themselves just a little too much. I think that they have lost that edge that got them to the place where they are now. And sometimes teams, not even sometimes, the Valkyries are an example of a team that is proven that you need those blue collar players, those players that still have something to prove. And I think that everybody on the Aces right now is just so heavily accoladed in their minds. They might even think that they're going hard, but anybody outside looking in is watching their games and knowing that these players aren't giving everything that they can give outside of Asia Wilson. And to whoever made that statement about Asia regressing, no, that is indeed false. Asia is still putting up some of her best numbers. What is happening is that there is a regression with the Aces as a whole. I think that Becky Hammon was right to call them out in that press conference for their unprofessionalism after that loss to Indiana because that's what it was. And she can't coach effort. Granted, there are things that coaches can do to set a fire underneath their players, but they are at a level where they should be doing that for themselves. At no point a coach needs to stop coaching, but like she said, there's a level of there's a lack of professionalism in the way that they've been showing up in moments. And I think it's just they've lost that edge. And I've already called it multiple times at this point. I think that this roster is going to be dismantled at the end of the season. And the only face that may look familiar is Asia. Okay, let's go inside of the game. This segment is when I bring you inside of the game with me. This past week, I had the chance to go inside the game at one of the best arenas in the W. This arena is home to our reigning champs. And the best part about this experience, I not only got to see what it's like at the fan level, but I got to go with the honor of being media at this game. And it was very last minute, might I add. Now, in the past, when I've gotten these media opportunities, I know that they can tell you at the last minute. Usually I know I find out 2 days ahead of the game. So when I didn't get any notification 2 days ahead of the game, I was still back in Atlanta. I didn't pack anything. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go enjoy myself as a fan. I didn't bring my camera, I didn't bring a notepad. It's like I'm gonna be a regular pedestrian. But this experience let me know that I have to stay ready so I don't have to get ready because it was absolute chaos. I got the notification that I was approved at 9:15 the night before the game. Mind you, I had gone to sleep at 7 p.m. Like I was getting some of the best sleep in my life in New York because I've been sleep deprived. Not even gonna hold you. I've been sleep deprived. So I was using this vacation time to just sleep in my hotel room. And that's what I get for sleeping. I sleep on myself. So I went to sleep early. I didn't even check my email. It wasn't until 1 p.m. when I finally checked my email. I had already left from my apartment. I was in Brooklyn about to meet my homegirl, non-idol Keisha. Shout out to her for being my guide in New York to help me navigate this moment because I was out in Brooklyn at like 1 when I found out that I was approved for media. So now I'm scrambling. I'm like, should I rent some equipment so I can take photos or like what should I do? I ended up landing on just buying a tripod so I can use my phone and I just made it do what it do. I got there for the pregame. The room was huge, and that's comparing it to the Atlanta Dreams facility. And of course, Barclays is also where the Nets play. So this is also an NBA shared facility. So their press room was huge. I was the third media person in that room, but I did not get called on for any questions. So in that pregame conference, you won't hear me asking any questions. It felt like they was just looking over me. Don't I was definitely had my hand up, but they was looking over your girl, but that's okay. It's a learning experience. I asked questions to the people that were facilitating so I would know better the next time, moving forward. I did get a chance to talk to Coach Roberts and Azare Stevens. I talked to Coach Roberts about Rakia Jackson's impact to the team outside of scoring because her numbers scoring wise are a little bit lower than they have been since last season. So just wanted to get her thoughts on that. Hey, Coach. Cassie with Women's Basketball 365. Rakia's numbers were down slightly today and a little bit on the season. Can you speak to how she impacts the game outside of scoring?
Yeah, I mean, she's 6'3", really long, and I thought defensively she was really good tonight. Her and KP, both of them didn't have great shooting nights, but defensively, I thought Rakia was good. The rebounding, she can get to the free throw line. She impacts the game in a lot of ways. It's not just from the stat line of how many points did she score. And they, Phoebich on hers, it's 6'3" on 6'4". She's not used to being guarded by that, but they kind of neutralized each other a little bit with each other's length. So, I think just defensively rebounding, and Ricky will buy into that. She knows that she can impact the game even if she's not getting easy shots.
But going to see the Liberty play is honestly indescribable. It's an experience that I think every W fan needs to get because the arena is like no other arena. There was more than 15,000 people there. There were so many people celebrating women's basketball. Here in Atlanta, we only hold maybe around 3,500 people each game. So to go from 3,500 people to 15,000 was crazy. So when it got loud in there, it's like you felt it in your veins. And then they handed out inflatables to the people behind the basket. So every time the Spark shot free throws, you could see the inflatables waving around. At halftime, Ellie had a dance off. That was crazy. She was the judge though. Ellie and two members of her crew were judging some fans who participated in a dance off. Crazy. It was just a really great fusion of culture because when you think of New York, it's so diverse. It's so many different cultures. And I think that Barclays does a really great job at bringing everything together. Then outside of the arena, they honor the women who won the franchise its very first championship with an art installment by photographer Latoya Ruby Frazier. It was amazing and it looks even better at night with the lights all lit up. So that was the unveiling of this installment. So I was one of the first people to see it in person. It was an honor. I just felt like everything was right place, right time on this trip for me. And I definitely encourage everyone who's a W fan, whether you like the New York Liberty or not, you have to go to Barclays because it sets the standard of where you want your favorite team to be. The Valkyries, they're probably already there. I got to go visit them next because being in those bigger arenas celebrating women's hoops is where it's at. That's where I want it to be forever. I need everybody to catch up. We need to go ahead and move Atlanta into that big facility like right now. We need to go ahead and be in State Farm Arena every game. But all in all, it was a great game. The Sparks controlled the game until the second half when Natasha Cloud and Sabrina Ionescu started to light it up. It was the first game back for Julie Alamon, and she's been out for Eurobasket. She actually just won a championship, so she's coming off of somewhat of a stride. She had a really strong game, and in that post game, when I talked to Azare Stevens, I had the chance to ask her about Julie's impact to their offensive flow. And quick follow up. I know Julie didn't want a direct question.
It's okay. Give them all to Julie.
But I just want Azare, what are your thoughts on how she's able to impact the game? This is her first game back, and it was a strong showing. So can you just speak to what she does for the flow of your offense?
Yeah, I mean, she just came in and provided a great point guard presence for us. We really need that, someone to come in, control the offense, and even defensively get up and guard their guards and kind of control the game that way. So it's great to have her back. We're proud of her, a recent champ. So
yes,
congrats on that.
Big time. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, just being able to come in and get us organized offensively is really, really nice.
Speaking of their offense, I thought right now would be a great way to segue into a little film study. This week, we'll look through the moments from the Sparks versus the Fever game. This first play is what I mean when I say that Caitlin Clark has to trust Natasha Howard to do what she does, because in that one play that I'm referring to where Caitlin shows the poor body language is because she was watching Natasha Howard go to work and she wanted the ball back, but she didn't get the kick out. But she has to trust that Natasha Howard can knock down because that's what she does. So watch this play and watch what Lexi Hull does. And this is what I want to see more of from Caitlin Clark. So Natasha Howard sees this. She likes the matchup with Azare. She backs her down and it's a bucket. You see Lexi Hull around the perimeter. She's still opening herself up, trying to make a window if necessary for the kick out, but she's not calling for the ball. She just watch her teammate go to work. All right, now this play is showing how important Julie is to the Sparks offense. So she's gonna get this inbound. She's pushing the pace. She brings it low. She collapses the defense. She kicks it out to Azare, and Azare dumps it down to De'Erica Hamby. She did not get the assist, but Julie was definitely responsible for this basket. Good ball movement. All right, this is the ball movement that the Fever have to keep up. Even with Clark in the lineup, the ball can't stick. They got to move it. Kelsey Mitchell kicks it. Natasha Howard kicks it. Sydney kicks it. Sophie kicks it right back to Sydney, and it's a bucket. All right, this is just a good window pass from Julie Van Loo to Azare Stevens. Or no, Mercedes Russell, I'm sorry. All right, Sydney Colson is going to get this in transition. And I'm not a fan of transition threes, but bam, I like this look. And can anybody tell me why I like this look? I'm going to give you a chance to think about it and comment it in the comment section right now. But let's go back. All right, Sydney Colson has this. And look who's down there. Rebounders. She's not just jacking up a transition three with no rebounders. And that's what I hate about transition threes, because usually they're pulled and there's nobody down in the rebound. But in this case, she need rebounders. Boom. This is just another good play from Julie off the inbound. She faked it to KP and hit Rakia down low. Easy money. Textbook basketball. The ball movement from Natasha Howard right here needs to be studied. So let's watch this from the beginning. Aaliyah Boston has the ball. Aaliyah has it. Natasha goes here because she really has an opening there where she could have got the kickback from Aaliyah. She doesn't give up, floats out, boom, off the dribble. Let's watch it again. Aaliyah could have hit her here on the back door. She doesn't give up on the play. Players out, gets the ball, off the bounce. Man, that's textbook basketball. That's what you want to see. I really need us to start talking about Azare Stevens more, because this 3-point shot is not an easy bucket, but especially when we're talking about centers. Like, look at this shot. This is not an easy bucket. She cuts through, so that's good movement off ball. Off the dribble three, she's somewhat fading. There's no player in the W that has this decel like KP. I've seen Brianna Stewart do it sometimes, but nobody has it like KP. This is an NBA level move, high level basketball right here. Watch this decel. She gets the ball. She has the step on Lexi. Off the window, playing with her food. This is another strong move from KP. Her skill work is unmatched. One of the most skilled guards in the league. Step back. Money. This play right here killed me because, Sophie, you are doing a lot for somebody who had 5 points. But you better get excited about your and one, girl. I ain't even mad. All in all, I think this Sparks versus Indiana game was a good display of basketball. I think the Sparks have a really high trajectory at this point where they can turn it around at this midpoint and end the season strong. And they could end up being one of those teams fighting for the 8th seed to make it to the playoffs. I think that they are coming together. They just got Ray Burrell back. Julie is playing at a high level since being back off that championship in Eurobasket. So I'm expecting some stronger play from the Sparks. Now we're going to shift to one of my favorite new segments. This part of the show is called Who's Feeding the Girls, where I highlight some of my favorite league fits. This week, I brought on the homie Mooley from Courtside Cousins. Yo, what's going on, Who's Tribe? So we are in for another segment of Feeding the Girls. Last time it was Asia Wilson who I had on the cover because it was all 10s at the 9s. But this time, I got my hometown fave, Ryan Howard. She's in this. I'm really loving this look. It's couture. She got the guns out, the belt around. I'm loving everything about this look. How you feeling?
I don't like that belt.
Ah,
I don't like the belt.
what's it
I
giving?
don't
Why
like
you
the belt.
don't? What's this giving?
I feel like the outfit would have been cute without the. It's given like she was in Tina's closet with this church outfit on. But the belt just threw it out. So you remember in like '09 when we was in the club in business casual, the big belts, I hated that shit. That's what
Okay,
it's given. I'm not feeling the belt.
it does
I'm
look
not
like
feeling the
that.
belt.
It does look like, now that you put it that way, it does look like
See?
that. Yeah. But I would still wear it.
See?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I would still wear it. So moving into the rest of the Atlanta Dream because it's just they just been giving looks. I love Brianna Jones.
Three, eight.
You
She looked
know,
good.
she got the cleavage out, the thighs out, the Givenchy. You know what I'm
Bree
saying?
looks good.
I'm loving it. It's giving rich. It's giving she just hit the mall. I mean, I'm liking the knee-high boots. I like
Hmm.
it.
It's giving a clueless vibe. She looks so cute. I love this outfit. I wear that.
You will wear this with the puffer
Hmm.
skirt.
Hmm.
I like it. And then Shatori Walker Kimbrough. This is the second look in a row that I really like this on her. Like I don't know if she was styling like this in Washington. I feel like her style has come up since she's been in Atlanta. And I mean, she is in Atlanta, so it would make sense. But
Hmm.
I would wear this. I like the shoes. It got paint on them. It's giving artsy. You know, the sweater around the neck. It's
I love
just
that little touch. That's cute.
yeah, with the chain. I like it. I like it a lot. It's casual, but then it can also
Hmm.
be dress up. And then we have Tahina Pow Pow. I like the oversized, the longer jeans, the longer shorts on her. She's done this a couple of times, and I really like that, casual look. She looking so ATL. I feel like she fitting right in with the ATL vibe. And she from Cali, right?
Think so. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Give me the line. It's giving Y2K look. Like
Yeah.
that look like something we would wear in like the early 2000s. Well, as adults, I was a child.
Did she really wear glasses or are these fake?
I think they're fake.
It's a,
It's
yeah.
for the outfit. It pulled the look together.
Yeah, that's why it's really giving Y2K because we
Hmm.
was wearing those fake glasses. Sometimes we didn't even have the lens in them. And then we got Nas. This is for me, actually. I mean, this look is very simple, but I just feel like
Hmm.
we don't appreciate Nas enough, so I had to throw this look on there. And then her and Ryan was low-key matching with the all black fits on this day.
They do that often. It's cute to me.
So I had to give y'all a closer look at this Ron Howard look because if you're feeling this look, I actually found a link that has an outfit. Now, I don't know if she got this fit from Meshki, but
Mhm.
Meshki is the designer that I saw with with a comparable look with the belt with the whole fit and you can get the top for about 115 and the pants are about 135. I will throw the link for that in the description of this video if you're interested in this look because honestly I will wear this out. I know you're not feeling it but I will wear this out. I
It's just
also
the belt.
but you could get it with no belt. It's the belt is not made into the shirt. Now, Seattle Storm, I feel like they always have the looks. I feel like across the board, no one ever disappoints in Seattle. I gotta throw Gabby Williams like sweatsuit in this because this is real artsy. It's looking custom because they got the
Mhm.
Seattle Storm fairy in the back. What you think of this jumpsuit?
I think it's cute, but also it's 100 degrees everywhere right now. We a little out of season, Gabby. I know you hot, Bookie, but it's cute. Is that a fairy? I thought that was a who is that? It looks like a character that I've seen before.
I think it's giving fairy. Yep, yep. I feel like
Huh. That
that's
makes sense.
the I feel like that's what everybody doing right now. But you
That
know
makes
what?
sense.
I don't know. Is it really 100 degrees in Seattle? Because I swear every week that I've been looking at Seattle photos, I don't ever know what the temperature is because everybody is all over the place.
I don't know what their weather is, but I feel like it might be a little too hot for a sweatsuit. It's July. It's
Maybe this was
July.
in the morning. I don't know. And Zaya Cook is cooking with this Goyard bag. Had to give y'all a close up of that. It's giving rich. Like it's casual,
Hmm.
but the bag just made this very rich girl vibe. So I'm really feeling that green look. Green is one of my favorite colors. And Erica Wheeler in the Balenciaga. Always a look. I feel like Erica is probably one of the best dressed in the W for me because I feel like I would wear pretty much everything that she puts on.
She gets overlooked a lot too, with her looks.
Yeah, we're not talking about her enough. And then she be iced out. Like, look at this EW chain. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is football level, like, gear right here. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know like it glistens in the dark. Like it's giving Erica Wheeler got money, but she was one of the highest paid in the league last season. So Erica got
He
money.
was. That contract was nice.
And then Nneka, Madam President, she's in a vintage Adidas look here. I'm really liking this jumpsuit. And she's an Adidas girly, so she had to
Mhm.
rep for the brand.
It's very rare that Nneka puts on something that I don't love. That girl can dress her butt off. She always looks good to me.
Facts. And so the Minnesota Lynx, this is what they wore to their funeral, aka the Commissioner's Cup. And I just feel like they kind of was slipping from the jump. Like the only person I feel like they wore a lot of black, which was fitting for the night. I like Natisha Hideman's look. It's giving rock star. She's an artist. She makes music.
Hmm.
This look makes sense. I think that Elena, I like this dress, but they kind of like they were all over the place. And I feel like they weren't on the same page with their looks, which is why they weren't on the same page with their play and they let us down. So I'm not really loving all of these looks. I don't know where they were kind of going with this. I don't know. I don't
It
know.
is it is all over the place. Like I don't know that that teams like get in the group chat and be like, okay, this is the vibe we going for today. But if they do, they missed it.
Because what is the vibe of this? I
It's
like
all over the place. It don't even look like they going to the same event.
exactly that's what I'm saying. Like, where is Fee going? Where is Fee going with this? I don't know. Then you got Diamond. Diamond and
Now Diamond looks
Elena.
cute now.
Yeah, Diamond and Elena look like they were going to the same place.
I like Diamond's outfit. I love that the skirt is the same texture as the purse. That's cute to me.
I feel
That
like Bridget, I don't know. I don't know, Bridget. Bridget was going shopping.
Bridget has on a business casual 2009 dress with a belt. Look at it. With the shoulder out.
So her and Ryan matching. I don't know. I like Jessica Shepard's look. I feel like I would wear this. The Jordan. I just
Mhm.
noticed that the sweats were like Jordan. Jordan is going for more of a casual look lately. I like Jessica's look. I like Natisha Hideman's look. I do like Elena look, and she was probably the best player for them, so that makes sense in that Commissioner's Cup game. Moving on to the Indiana Fever, they're another team that is kind of always all over the place. Sophie
Yeah.
Cunningham, are these butterflies? Um,
Yep. Moving on.
right. Natasha, it's cool. Like it's giving just going anywhere at this point. It's no
Hmm.
real like this is just a very casual look. Lexi Hull, she like having the abs out. I get it because I would have my abs out if they look like Lexi's abs. Her and Sophie could have been going to the same place. They probably left the same gathering before going to the gym. This is what this looks like.
Hmm.
Um, Sydney Colson, that's cool. It's
It
cool,
ain't. It's
casual.
cute.
And then you got Ari. She's looking. I feel like Ari, Sydney, and Natasha kind of all came from the same place, while Sophie and Lexi came from the same place. So moving on. The Las Vegas Aces. So Asia is back in her sweatpants, and we already know what that means. You already know what type of time she on. She ain't got time to play with y'all about these looks. She don't care about the looks because the play is not coming together. But Tasha St. Patrick's, she ate. Dana, I
I
like this look.
mean,
I
I
like
would
it.
wear that in a heartbeat. She looks so cute. Again, they don't look like they going to the same place.
Nobody looks like
Nobody. No, Jewel and Asia going to. They both. Does Jewel have on sweats or are those jeans? I can't tell.
they're denim jeans. They're like oversized denim jeans with some slides on. So yeah, they could be going to the same place, and they're both wearing white tees. She got the
Hmm.
boxy tee on with the gym bag. So yeah, you're right. They look like they're going to the same place.
And Meg.
Meg too. She just left the workout because some girlies play basketball in skirts, so I can see that. And I mean, My twin KB, she also could have been going to coming from the same place. She got the white tee on,
She
boxy white tee.
looked like she just left the Lean with it, Rock with it video. The yep in my white tee video with the oversized shorts and the big white tee. It's again mid 2000s.
Yeah, and she got the sixes on. I think those are the sixes. Yeah, I like it though. I like it. It's giving. I like everybody's look. It's very chill. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling it. And then the Valkyries. I like Timmy Fagbinley. I can't tell which Asian culture this look is coming from, but I do like how it came together. And she had the what them fans at, even though that's not what this fan is for, but it still is on brand for what's trending right now, which is those type of fans. I don't know. What you feeling about Timmy?
Where is she going?
I mean, she's just I don't know. It's hot in San Francisco, and she
She
just
probably not that much dress. It's a lot going on at the bottom for it to be hot. But Timmy always, her looks always look. But anyway,
she's cultured. She's,
yeah.
international culture. It looks like
Mhm.
she just went for a nice cocktail. It's given, yeah, she could have went out for cocktails in San Francisco.
Okay.
Tiffany Hayes, what you think about your bae?
Never know what the weather is with my girl. I never know what the temperature is outside. Cause why I know it's hot in San Francisco. Why you got on long pants and a long shirt?
But the thing about San Francisco is that the nights are cool. Like the temperature drops in the bay,
Mhm.
especially because they're near the water. So that makes sense.
Okay, this is one of her better outfits. You know, I'm hit or miss with my girl. Sometimes I'll be like, ah,
You don't like the
not this
newspaper
one.
fits?
That's my favorite pants. I love the newspaper pants. It's the grass pants that
Oh, yeah, I'm not a fan of the grass pants.
it's the grass pants and the skirt with the ties. Why we got that on? What we doing? What we doing?
And then Leticia Amid here, honestly, she looks like she's coming from a tennis match. This
She
is
looked
giving
like a
tennis.
rich auntie. And it's like the whole little vibe. The skin is skinny. Her hair is always done. She looks like a rich auntie in this one.
It's laid. Yeah, the edges are laid, the hair is laid. And when anybody that plays tennis, I assume they have money anyway. So that fits. That was all of the fits that I have for feeding the girls. How you feel? Did the looks eat or not? I feel like there were a few looks on there that ate. I'm still going with Ryan Howard as my favorite look. Who was your favorite look out of those?
Think not you called that girl Tasha, and I was about to call her Tasha St. Patrick. I think that Dana Evans look did it for me. That was cute. And Bree Jones. Bree ate that outfit right on up. She
Yeah,
looked so good.
yeah.
Now I can't say as a whole that this group ate, they nibbled.
Not they nibbled.
They had a snack.
Did Brianna look this good in Connecticut? I don't remember.
I don't remember. She had some moments because she did like they did like an interview with her where she went around her closet and like showed how she preps her outfits for game days and stuff. And she came out in like a cute little leather fit. And I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with her game. I was like, okay, Brie. And you don't look like you going to a basketball game, right? That's kind of sexy, but I don't think she dressed like that. But you did say she's in Atlanta now, like everybody else. She had to step her game up. It's Atlanta.
And the
It's
nightlife
Atlanta.
is different out here than Connecticut. It's
Yeah.
different. Well, Mooley, I appreciate you coming on the show with me. Go ahead and plug all of your info. Let these people know where they can find you and Courtside Cousins.
Thank you so much for having me. You can follow us on Threads, Instagram, maybe TikTok. Now I feel like Alicia. I don't know our TikTok handle at Courtside. You can follow me at s.mcgee10 on Threads. That sounds about right. I don't know my handle either. And Haley at h_more
Make
on
sure y'all
Threads.
follow. Make sure y'all follow the Courtside
Oh, okay.
Cousins.
We got a giveaway going on right now too. So you gotta follow the page, watch the latest episode.
What y'all giving away?
We are giving away a custom all-star jersey
Oh.
for first prize winners, first place winner. Second place gets a custom all-star t-shirt, custom all-star hat, and third place gets a custom all-star t-shirt. So I need to plug at Vontae Hole as well, and Bad Aim. They're making everything. So thank you for this little collaboration too. But yes, follow the page, watch the episode. I'm not gonna give y'all all the rules that are dropped in the episode because you gotta watch it for that part. And then tag two people.
Yeah, make sure y'all do that. Everybody love free stuff and it's free WNBA stuff.
Everybody loves free stuff.
Tap in. Okay, so let's get into some headlines. We all know the All-Star Game reserves have been revealed, so the word is out. We got Caitlin Clark as a captain, Nafisa Collier is a captain. What I think is funny about all of this, Coach Reeve is going to be coaching Caitlin's team, and Coach Sandy Brondello is going to be coaching Nafisa Collier's team. That is going to be very interesting to see. We also have Aaliyah Boston. We have Paige Beckers, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Nneka Ogumake, Satu Sabli, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Sonia Citron. We got Skylar Diggins, Ryan Howard, Kiki Iriafen, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kayla Thornton, Courtney Williams, Gabby Williams, and Jackie Young. A lot of people are upset that Brittany Sykes was not in this lineup. I did advocate for Brittany Sykes earlier in the season, and I think that she still deserves to be there. I think that she's definitely had a better season than Courtney Williams thus far, and I think that she's just as impactful to wins for the Washington Mystics as Jackie Young is impactful to wins for the Las Vegas Aces. But I can say that her efficiency is down. This is the lowest her field goal percentage has been since 2019. But outside of that, I mean, she's been a great leader across the board, and hopefully she continues this trend upwards because she still has a place in the race for maybe most improved. So I hope this isn't like a blow to her confidence because she's still been playing remarkable this season. We also get a first look at the Sabrina threes. So the Sabrina ones and twos were highly successful. These Sabrinas are a little underwhelming to me. I think they look a lot like the Ja Morant twos. And that's always my gripe with Nike is their unoriginality. They have moments in lines of shoes that look, they like they're moving the needle, but then sometimes with their signature shoes, they just kind of do the same thing over and over. First of all, the Sabrina twos look like a Kobe. And I think that that was on purpose because Sabrina is a huge fan of Kobe. And I can also say the same thing about the Ja Morant twos. I think they look like a Kobe as well. So these Sabrina threes, they look like the Ja Morants. So they also look like Kobe's. But I don't think that this silhouette is any more special than the twos. And I think they could have really taken more time. I think people are still buying new colorways of the twos. So I don't think that there was really a rush to get these out, especially with the release of Asia Wilson's A1. I feel like they could have really got in the lab of the Sabrina threes to really hype this up because right now it's a really big moment for women's signature shoes. So why half step? So something that I'm seeing a lot of people comment on is the conversation between Cheryl Miller and Candace Parker. They were with Keyshawn Johnson. I'm guessing that this is his podcast. They talked about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and their rivalry. Cheryl Miller is a person that lived through the Larry and Magic time period. So she compared it to that, which a lot of people do from that era. I don't think that anything that was said was disrespectful. I think that people are looking to the fact that they called Caitlyn a baller, they called her a generational talent, and they didn't directly say those things about Angel Reese. They said that, Caitlyn is a hooper, she's a baller, and Angel Reese is the same, but they didn't use the adjectives directly to describe Angel in this way. And I don't really think it was a knock, but even if it was, I can't wait till women's basketball fans get to the point where they not so sensitive about trivial things like this. I feel like at the end of the day, everything that they said was complimentary to both players. I don't think that there's any malice in the tone or the conversation. It was a matter of them sharing how they felt about two players. And if they feel like Caitlin Clark is a generational talent, then they just feel like that. as Angel Reese fans, we have to also be honest with the fact that she has struggled in areas that people judge players harshly on. If she has struggled in the past with field goal percentage, then people are going to judge her harshly on that because people are looking at the shiny parts of basketball. They're looking at the highlight reels. They're looking at the box score, who scores the most points and how efficiently. Yes, Caitlin Clark is going through a moment right now where she's struggling from the field, but historically, she has had a decent field goal percentage. She's had a good field goal percentage. She's had a good 3-point percentage. Even though she's going through this rut right now, people aren't holding her to it because they know what she's capable of doing. Cheryl Miller said that Angel Reese's game is ever evolving. That is a compliment. It is evolving. She is not the same Angel from the beginning of the season or the beginning of her pro career as she is now. She's adjusted, and that's a testament to her talent. I think that is great. It's great that she even acknowledged that, but she didn't directly acknowledge that about Caitlin, which could some people could look at that as a knock because if Caitlin is so great now, but she doesn't have room for evolution, then how great will she remain? So I just think that we are becoming way too sensitive. And it could just be a matter of people just want something to talk about. And like Candace Parker said, Twitter fingers or whatever, whatever. People just want something to say. But I think that it's wrong to attack women who obviously have the right to talk about the game. Like, okay, y'all can critique me because y'all don't know my skill set on the court. Y'all don't know me from a can of paint. I'm just a talking head on the internet. But these people have proven track records. We've seen what they can do. So if anybody is qualified to give criticism, it's those two. I trust those two opinions over y'all. Just to be real. So this is very trivial to me. Like, why are we so up in arms about the Cheryl Miller, arguably one of the best basketball players of all time? The Candace Parker, one of the best basketball players of all time.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, so some big wins this week. Indiana over Minnesota for the Commissioner's Cup. We talked about it a little bit. I have a whole episode of Let's Talk Hoops dedicated to just the Commissioner's Cup. I suggest everyone to go back and look at it because it has my fresh thoughts immediately after the game. And even though people want to disregard this game, it doesn't actually count towards their regular season record. People are arguing if it's actually a championship. Should people treat it that way? Yada yada yada. I don't care for that argument because a game is a game is a game. However you feel about it, I think that this game exposed Minnesota. It exposed the coaching staff refusing to make in-game adjustments. It exposed a lack of fight back when the calls aren't going their way, a lack of mental toughness, a lack of decisiveness from their starting point guard. Like, honestly, I'm a little disappointed with Courtney Williams as of late. And we can't ignore that just because we don't like the Indiana Fever. I think there was also a lack of, or shall I say, a underutilization of the Lynx's bench. And it really comes to no surprise if I really were to think back to the press conference where we talked to Coach Reeve in Atlanta, and someone asked the question of, does she think the bench is deeper from, or what are the differences from this past season to now? And she was a little indecisive on whether she wanted to say that their bench is deeper right now. And I think that they are deeper, but she has to trust them, and she got to start trusting them soon because we are heading into the second half of the season, and those pieces, especially with Carly Samuelson now out with a season-ending surgery, she's going to have to look at other pieces on her team and figure out what pieces are going to be useful. And I think that Diamond Miller only getting 1 minute in that game where her major pieces were performing poorly. Like, you have to look to someone else in those moments. Diamond Miller should have been in the game. Yeah, Alyssa Pilley should have been in the game. I don't understand the lack of utilization in that moment, and how they performed can be used as a glimpse of what we can see in the future if they don't fine tune some things. Another big win was Seattle over New York. Seattle had 5 players in double figures with this win. Yes, New York was missing Jonquel Jones, but Seattle has the most skilled post presence that no other team in the league has. And honestly, I'm glad Leroux got out of the way so Malonga can shine. There's no question on who's the next option off of the bench because Malonga has stepped up. And I was wrong about her because the first showing, I didn't know what to think about it. She looked like little Bambi. She's gotten her legs together. She's looking like she's a pro. She's a pro. She's looking like the second draft pick, and she was the second draft pick for a reason. And I think that she's an X factor to the win. She's actually gotten X factor of the win twice now on the Let's Talk Hoops platform. Seattle has the skill and experience, the personnel, and the hunger. Skylar Diggins doesn't have a WNBA championship. They have the right pieces to be that championship contender. Nneka feels disrespected. Gabby wants it all. The Storm team can beat anyone, and they know it. They just have to fine-tune the little things and remain composed through adversity. In that win, Dominique Malonga had 11 points, 8 rebounds on 72% shooting. That is a major stat. She almost had a double-double. So I think that there's nothing but clear skies for that rookie. I'm excited about her, and I'm glad she's proven me wrong. So now let's segue into my coach's corner. Now, we're not going to get too off base here because the coach that I want to highlight today is Noelle Quinn. She's a coach that I feel does not get enough praise. I think that she has one of the strongest clipboards in the league. She's one of the winningest coaches in Seattle Storm history. I think she has some of the best balance when it comes to playing her bench. I think her minutes distribution is great. She's a coach willing to make adjustments to the lineup. I love how she saw Arike Wheeler shining and said, hey, we need this in our starting lineup. A lot of coaches just won't do that. We see it time and time again. A player will come off of the bench and outperform a starter, and it takes to mid-season for the staff to make an adjustment. The Seattle Storm did that immediately. I like the urgency that they're moving with. And when we see glimpses of their locker room, I like the positivity that Coach Quinn leads with. So if you haven't caught a Seattle Storm game, I suggest you start paying attention right now because you'll see one of the best coaches and one of the best teams in the league. Now, the injury report is long, but I'll keep it brief. Ryan Howard is day-to-day with the upper body injury, but it was recently reported that she's not on the injury report for Monday's game against the Valkyries. Camila Cardoso will be back soon as her Brazil team will face America in the AmeriCup Championship. As of July 5th, Dijonai Carrington still has yet to practice due to a rib injury. Arike is day-to-day with a thumb injury. Cam Brink was last evaluated on July 4th, and she's obviously still out with that knee injury. Carly Samuelson will miss the rest of the season, and that's just devastating. I really had high hopes for her in this Lynx jersey, and she had just really started to hit her stride with the team. Izzy Harrison went down in that matchup against Seattle, and she did not return back to the bench. It was her knee, so I'm hoping that this isn't anything serious because she had just started to carve her path with the Liberty. Now, Hoops Tribe, as we close, I have to direct you to the website, www.womensbasketball365.com. To join my mailing list, you'll receive updates in real time when articles are published and when new episodes are released. I also have merchandise. Shout out to everyone who's been shopping from the store. I'm laced in Hoops Tribe gear right now. You can also follow me on X, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky at Cassie Chantel for real-time updates. Follow me on Threads and Instagram at WBB.365. And as always, I appreciate your support each and every week. Let's talk hoops.